Hello, today I'm joined by my guests Remy and Max from Salesrook. How you doing, fellas?
Hello, David. Yeah, very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I am fresh from one conference, almost into another, which we're going to talk about shortly. The hotly anticipated Relocation Agent Network event of the year, Connected 25, where there's going to be a rather major partnership announced, but we'll come to that. Um, but for now, I want to sort of try and reveal a little bit about what SalesRook do. We all know the scenario. Agents, generally speaking, on a Monday morning are drowning in lots and lots of inquiries. Some of those get dealt with. A shockingly low amount of them get dealt with if you listen to the statistics that people like. At the EA Masters, they always talk about the amount of missed inquiries that go through a system. And it fascinates me sometimes because that is the lifeblood of an agent's business. Um, Explain to us in a nutshell how SalesRook can help us with that.
Yeah, thanks, David. Nice to be here, by the way. Yeah, thanks for the introduction. So yeah, I mean, you've nailed it really from the get-go. This is exactly the problem that SalesRook seeks to help with. Because what we do is, in a nutshell, we make estate agents' phones and their WhatsApp channels work harder for them. So as you're describing, every day we've got thousands of people that are inquiring about properties on Rightmove, Zoopla, on the market, estate agent websites as well, and what they get back is often nothing for hours, right? So maybe they get a call back the next day, especially if it comes in on the weekend, and by that time they've possibly moved on. So SalesRook changes that within 30 seconds of someone clicking inquire on a right move. They get this personalized WhatsApp message back from an AI assistant working on behalf of that agency. Um, and so the AI will have a proper conversation with them. They'll ask, are they buying? Are they renting? Do they need to sell first? What's their budget? What's their timeline? And crucially, do they have a property that needs valuing? So by the time that the negotiator themselves picks up the phone, they're not dealing with this cold lead. They've got a fully qualified prospect that has all the details they need. So they end up saving 25 hours per 100 inquiries, we estimate. Their costs drop by about 80% in terms of the human labor required to engage those sometimes not great leads. And the bit that gets really exciting is that they uncover these hidden valuation opportunities that were completely missing in some cases before.
Well, that sounds fantastic. I just want to backtrack just to the beginning of that statement, if you like, because I think this really does it matters. Response times matter in agency, don't they? I think that in this modern day and age, we're used to sort of an instant access across all platforms. Everything that we do in our lives, if we're registering for something, we can get it straight away. If we're ordering on Amazon, we are getting it either next day delivery or that same day. But most importantly, customer satisfaction equals instant success, doesn't it? Almost, or instant response. So that response time really does matter, doesn't it, Remy?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like the most common thing I hear, because I speak to tens of estate agents every week, and the most common thing I hear is that if someone submits an inquiry on a Saturday night, for example, at 8 p.m., realistically they're not going to hear from the estate agency until earliest mid morning Monday. But they're probably going to be at work mid-morning on Monday, not in the headspace that they're ready to speak to the estate agent about the property that they inquired about on Saturday night. So by having a solution that enables us to respond immediately every time, we're catching that person at the time that they are ready to have the conversation about the property with the estate agent, not the other way round. And as a result, we're achieving on average 87% response rates, and over about 56% on average, people actually go on to complete the entire conversation with our AI agent or AI persona that we're setting up. So yeah, we're achieving fantastic results by exactly that, catching them immediately at the point of engagement.
And the method of communication matters as well. So actually, as you've already stated, if we're in work, I haven't got time to have a full-blown conversation with you. And I think this is also something that agents do get very much, even with the best will in the world. Let's say they're the most diligent agent in the world. They walk in Monday morning, print off a stack of inquiries and they're going to just sit there at their desk telephoning each one. First of all, that's the rest of your Monday gone and possibly the rest of your week. But
Yep.
when you're sat there doing that, what tends to sort of get you a little bit disheartened is the fact that your response rate when you're telephoning people back is tremendously low because people are at work. WhatsApp cuts through, and you shared with us an amazing statistic, 92% engagement rates. I can't get 92% engagement rates out of my own company WhatsApp, never mind the ones we're sending to customers. That is superb. So just talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, I think the relevant thing on this is that there's a whole ream of different studies going back over a decade on speed to lead, right? So it really there's this relationship between when the prospective client makes their initial inquiry and how quickly you respond to them. It used to be these early studies used to say, oh well, if you, and I've been kind of looking at this kind of thing for 10, 15 years now. Now it used to be you reply in the first hour, and the relationship between that first hour and leaving it 24 hours is enormous. So, there's an original study that said the engagement rate will drop by about 7 times if you leave it to the second hour.
Yeah.
It's 60 times once you've left it for 24 hours. What we find now is that a lot of these studies focus on shorter and shorter time windows, and we're now thinking about, okay, what is the benefit of replying in the first 5 minutes or first 30 seconds over the first hour? And we see a similar relationship, that there's that kind of exponential relationship between the faster, the more instantaneous you can be, the better the reply rate. And so when we talk about WhatsApp replies coming back from applicants, prospective clients for these agents when they're getting inquiries on Rightmove, it's because their AI persona is WhatsApping them within a minute of them making that inquiry. So they're still engaged in what they're doing. They're possibly still on Rightmove's website or whichever portal they're on. And that's the reason. It's the relevance and the timeliness of that means, 9 out of 10 people is going to get straight back to you and continue their inquiry. By the time it's even 10 minutes later, they might have gone to make a cup of tea.
Well, and then
that AI persona that you mentioned as well, that's kind of important as well. And some people sort of embrace that. They give them a name officially so that they can welcome them as part of the team. But if I'm a customer, will I know that I'm talking with AI? Do I perceive that, or is it nice and gentle?
Well, it's nice and gentle, and our customers actually can choose how they want to sort of tee up the conversation, if you like. We've got lots of customers where the AI persona might just say, "Hey, it's Sophie from customer name here." Others say, "Hey, it's Sophie, your virtual property assistant from customer name here." And then if at any point throughout the conversation, someone asks, "Are you an AI or are you a virtual assistant?" Of course, the AI will say, "Yeah, I'm your virtual property assistant. I'm here just to help you with your property needs." So yeah, it's nice and soft. And I think in this day and age, the majority of people are more than happy to have a conversation with virtual assistants.
I'll be honest.
I think what they really care about, David, is just that they're getting service right away. That's the thing that really makes the difference.
Yeah. I don't think people mind at all as long as it's polite and it's instant and it's sort of dishing them out what they want. I think most of us would rather interact with some form of chat, WhatsApp particularly, because it's instant. And let's face it, when you get it on your phone, you feel like it's almost that's your domain, isn't it? It's there. It's right where it's convenient for you.
Absolutely. Just to add to that, so your point about phoning people on a Monday morning, you don't want to have a conversation about a 10-15 minute conversation about a property on a Monday morning because you're at work. Equally, if you look at my email inbox, and I'm pretty sure this is the same for just about everybody that's going to listen to this, my email inbox is just full of advertising and spam. I spend most of my time deleting emails.
Yeah.
And if I look at my text message inbox, it's authentication codes, messages from the post office, the occasional scam, or my bank. It's not where I have my real conversations.
Yeah.
Where I have my real conversations that actually matter to me, it's in WhatsApp. And what we're seeing, demonstrated by the results that we're achieving, is that's pretty much the same for everybody in the UK at the moment.
Okay, well, and that's absolutely true, and it rings true. And just spoiler alert, don't call me any morning, not just Mondays. I'm not good in the morning before 10 o'clock, all right? I need coffee to have a conversation. But so many people are, and I guess the majority of inquiries are raised actually during downtime. So it's that magic couple of hours once you've managed to get the kids to sleep and you are sat on your sofa doing what every good couple do, ignoring each other but scrolling through your phone.
Hmm.
You're going to be on Rightmove, out. You're going to be wherever it is, really, raising inquiries. If those come through pretty much instantly, and you're getting WhatsApp back, you're going to get the engagement when it matters most, when you've got their attention, which I think is superb. But we're not just talking theoretics because you've run a very interesting case study, particularly for us behind the scenes at the Relocation Agent Network, which is an exciting part of this conversation.
Mm.
I occasionally do testimonial interviews with agents, and I did one with Michael Poole, and the results that they got back from that pilot test was just absolutely superb. So let's talk about those proof points a little bit. They tested this for RAN. What were the headline results?
Well, I think the thing that and so I'm sure we'll link in the notes to the original. That was, I think, looking at kind of the first sort of month or 3 months of work that had happened for Michael Poole earlier this year. What we've recently done is complete a full first year of Elsie, which is the name that they gave to their AI persona that works up
Yeah.
at Michael Poole, handling inquiries, finding valuation opportunities, and what's now we're now starting to see is how that translates into actual real business results, not just response rates and engagement rates and qualification rates, but the the opportunities that are being found. Some of those are then turning into actual instructions and actual exchanged houses that have been sold. So that's what's really quite remarkable, and why I think Relocation Agent Network have wanted to roll this out network wide, is that we saw over the first year in on-patch opportunities, so valuations in their own territory, this company was able to have their AI persona find 97 opportunities that led to actual instructions. So a negotiator, had a follow-up phone call based on a summary of an initial WhatsApp conversation conducted by Elsie, saying this person, this buyer, has the property to sell. This is the address. It's on your patch. It's not on the market elsewhere. Talk to this person about this business development as well. That resulted in, many times more in terms of these opportunities and leads, but 97 of those led to actual instructions that are currently in market, and 40 properties exchanged in that first year. So, commission revenue
Not just exchanged, completed.
exchanged
Yeah.
and completed
Yeah,
indeed.
so that's cash in the bank. I mean,
That's right.
I've got to tell you, as estate agents, I mean, I've been doing this for 28 years, and we are absolutely singular in our focus. And all the conversations I have with estate agents, it doesn't matter what their tech problem is or what their processes problem is, they have one particular focus, and that's how can we get more instructions? How do we win more instructions? Because as Remy quite rightly pointed out, there's instructions coming on and then get converted to exchange, but then to completion. That's the lifeblood of, that's your pipeline. That is the
Right.
entire value of your sales department right there.
Yeah.
And if you're missing out on these opportunities, then it's a crying shame. But this is a way that actually you don't need to necessarily worry about the human error, because you've got your AI system and sales looking after you the whole way through. And that's just for on-patch referrals. Where
Yeah.
this kind of comes into its own for the relocation agent network, we we effectively thrive on off-patch referrals. The clue is in the title. People that are relocating from one part of the world to another. So yes, I'm based here in Manchester. Remy might be in London. I don't necessarily service London, but Max does. he could have that opportunity right there. And these are missed opportunities that agents tend to sort of miss every day. You guys aren't missing any of them, are you?
No, no, absolutely not. So, just to give it some colour, so the we actually figured out that the that Michael Poole, the 12 months before they started using SalesRook, they uploaded into Rand's platform 18 off-patch referrals across a 12-month period, so just one and a half per month. And in the 10 months since they've started working with SalesRook, we've identified 206 off-patch referrals. And up until recently, they've been manually being uploaded by Michael Poole into Rand's platform. So even some of those have actually slipped through the net. However, what we're going to be doing with the relocation agent network is building an automated integration. So all 206 have the opportunity to be uploaded into Rand's platform, which represents, greater than a 10x uplift in off-patch valuation leads.
It's
I mean, imagine
amazing.
that. Imagine that scaled out across the entire relocation agent network. That would be something.
It's amazing, and the figures themselves, the bottom line, sort of the revenue that's generated from on-patch referrals and off-patch referrals, it's just a
Mm.
staggering amount of money. That as a business owner, I'd be shocked if I thought that we weren't maximizing it. But to be able to take 18 of those, all the way to 206, that ten times sort of increase. I'm not sure I could do that myself. I'm not sure that the humans in my office would always remember to do that. And with the best will in the world, honestly, these guys, Michael, Paul, walk into their office any day of the week. These are great agents. All the agents in that relocation agent network are handpicked because they are absolutely superb at what they do. But even the best agents in the world are busy. We're juggling so many hats. We're marketeers, we are salespeople, we're professional advisors. Very often, we're also psychotherapists and
Hmm.
marriage counselors, and you name it, right? But we have all of these different things to do
Yeah.
during our day. It's no wonder that we sometimes miss out on connecting the dots. And this, to me, just gives us that beautiful digital sort of safety net that translates through to pounds in the bank.
Right.
It's technology done right.
I just add to that. It's not the fact that there were only 18 referrals in their old referral log. And I remember when we were discussing this, earlier in the year with Rich Poole, the managing director over there at Michael Poole. What transpired is that it's not because the opportunities weren't there. Obviously, it's because, as you're saying, in the chaos of a busy agency, negotiators are juggling viewings, phone calls, paperwork, and so sometimes they just simply forget to ask, by the way, do you have a property to sell? Or they do ask, but they just forget to log the postcode, or they log it on a post-it that gets buried on their desk. And so, what else he brings to the table for Michael Poole and is bringing to the table for other RAN partners and affiliates now is that an LC will ask every single time without fail. And then it will capture the complete details, property postcode, contact info, etc. And then, as Remy's describing, routes that automatically to the right place. So, even in the first few months with Michael Poole, Elsie had captured 50 off-patch referrals just in those first months. So, we've just really just built a system that never forgets to ask and never forgets to log it.
And what's quite interesting as well, an LC, an AI system, doesn't necessarily have the same sensitivities that we do. So it doesn't get embarrassed to ask a question. And sometimes those questions can lead to massive opportunities. And so one of the questions that we as agents sometimes struggle to verbalize and to add into a conversation, because we're trying to book an appointment for these people to view a house. We need to ask them though what their position is. It's natural. We
Yeah.
should be asking them whether they've already got their mortgage sorted as well. And your system is able to sort of pick up on FS opportunities effectively, mortgage referrals that might be going missing as well. And that's much needed revenue for an agency. It may be the icing on the cake, but when you add all of these up together, it's tremendous. And I find in my experience, and I've tried it both ways, the human way and also the sort of AI method. The AI method's far more better, sort of more natural almost to them to ask a question without worrying whether you're necessarily framing in the right way because it seems to get it right every time.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think there's really there's three reasons that factor into that. So one is that because we're able to engage with the inquiry immediately, we're speaking to 92% engagement. We're speaking to 92% of them. So 92% of inquiries are getting asked those questions. So we're just able to speak to more people. B, as Max mentioned, the AI never forgets to ask the question, do you have a house to sell? Or how are you going to finance the purchase? Do you need a mortgage? And then C, automating the referral of whatever type of lead it is we've identified as well. So when you factor those three things in together, we're speaking to more people, every single person's being asked, and whatever we've been able to identify is being routed to the right place automatically. It just removes every single barrier that is in place without that system. And yeah, the results genuinely speak for themselves.
They really do. And so for the RAM members watching, the enlightened, the people that are going to get the benefit of this fantastic partnership, what exactly does the partnership mean for them and what are they going to get then?
We've we've agreed with partnered with Relocation Agent Network. It's been great. The last kind of couple of weeks had some good press on the trade side, and I think it was this press release was picked up in Yahoo Finance as well. So it's kind of obviously some feedback that this is positive, and we've had a
Yeah.
lot of new RAN members signing up with us already. And I think the reason for that is that this is genuinely a no-brainer offer, and I don't use that phrase lightly because here's what you get as a RAN member. The relocation agent network covers your setup fees completely. Normally, that's a significant upfront investment. The RAN also covers your monthly subscription, so there's no fixed costs whatsoever. And all the RAN members do is they pay for the actual usage through a token-based model. So that typically works out between 50 pence and £1.50 per inquiry processed. So the RAN members are getting technology that's worth, up to £8,000 a year in value with zero upfront financial risk. They just pay for what they're actually using and the value that they're getting from it. And perhaps, most importantly, that also means they're getting the access to a referral system that's working, scaling up the ways that we've described for Michael Paul. And every off-patch lead that they capture feeds into the RAN network, as most relocation agent members are used to. But they're getting so many more of those that as the network effect becomes pretty significant quite quickly because other members are capturing more leads in your territory and they're coming back to you as well.
So it makes sense for everybody to sort of be using this system all together. And it's giving them that safety net, but also that massive boost, isn't it, to their referral pipeline as well. Rand's got obviously postcode mapping for all of its members. And how is Sales integrating with that?
Yeah, so Rand's got has built its own API in recent times, so it's kind of come a long way for a company that's been around for a long time, and the technology side of things is really accelerating. So we're working with the API that's been built on Rand's platform, where SalesRook is able to look up if we have a property that needs evaluation and that is off patch for this particular agent that's going to refer it in. It's able to look up the postcode using the database on Rand's platform, find the correct agent in the network to send it to, and then send that onwards so that it's received by the agent that can then service that vendor.
So although people have already signed up to this and news has leaked fast because it's extremely exciting. And you're gonna officially be launching that partnership on the 11th of December at the RAN Connected 25 conference. What can people expect if they're attending RAN the RAN conference this year? How are they going to see that marked?
Well, for starters, we'll be there front and centre, and I'm sure that all of the RAN team will be talking about this partnership as much as they possibly can. Um, I think I would just say to all RAN members, you should absolutely head over to the SalesWorks stand and have a chat with me and Max. We can tell you much more about it. Because I think, like we've been just discussing just now, this represents a massive opportunity, not just in the commercials that are being covered by the relocation agent network on behalf of members, but the more RAN members sign up to this, the better it is for every RAN member, because there will just be an exponential amount of off-patch valuations flowing across the network, which, like you said at the top of the call, David, is the whole reason why the relocation agent network was set up in the first place.
Well, for anyone that isn't there on the day, and I can't believe anybody won't be there on the day. But let's just say you cannot make it. And whether you're a RAN agent or not, if you want to book an appointment in to see Sazwa, we're going to obviously have the link in the comments below, and you can do that very easily. They're very easy to reach. I normally converse with them on WhatsApp, ironically. But you can also jump on a call with them, and they will show you how you can use that for your business. Before I let you gents go, thank you very much, obviously, for your time today. I think AI has been the buzzword of 2025, most of 2024 as well. And we're all sort of very keen to see where that's going for the future, particularly in a state agency, as that tends to be our focus. There is a sense that we're starting to use AI properly. But there is also that kind of sense that we're only just scratching the surface. From the expert's point of view, from your point of view, that is, where do you see AI going for estate agents in the future?
It's a good question, isn't it? I think where we are right now is definitely just the beginning. I think that much is clear. I think that from a sales rep perspective, we're seeing that AI can, we've proven that AI can handle lead qualification questions better than manual processes, faster, more consistent, more thorough. That's just the first layer, really. One area I'm quite excited about is the connection you mentioned earlier between estate agents and mortgage brokers. So if you think about it, every buyer inquiry is potentially a mortgage opportunity as well. We had one of the first RAN members sign up and run their first month following the announcement of this partnership. That's DDM Residential. And in their first month alone, they identified, as well as valuation opportunities, they identified 12 mortgage referral opportunities that then get passed on to the mortgage broker that they typically work with. And a lot of agencies will have these kinds of deals in place. So that's revenue that traditionally does get left on the table for because negotiators definitely forget to ask about that more often, or they don't have the time. So we're already, actually, Remy and I were just at the Mortgage Advice Bureau annual conference last week, and it's very exciting to see how these two business models can kind of fit together. We're working with a bunch of mortgage brokers already, developing our product on that side. And these kinds of firms are using AI as well to engage their renewal pipeline, new inquiries. And so you can imagine these two worlds kind of connecting in the future. Estate agent AI captures the mortgage need, qualifies the buyer's financial position, routes that leads to a broker partner, everyone wins. So yeah, I think we see AI becoming embedded in every aspect of estate agency operations, not replacing people, but just, I think the key thing I heard last week is rather than artificial intelligence, we need to be thinking about augmented intelligence, and that I think is the way to be thinking about this, is supporting the humans on the ground
Giving us that additional edge. Yeah. And I think that agents that work with a network of providers. So yes, you may have mortgage referrals. We also do an awful lot of work with surveyors, solicitors. There's so many referral opportunities, and if it can work well for the inquiries that we're getting through just for ourselves, and then you then sort of multiply that out across all of those different avenues. I think it just increases the the ability for us to capture that lost income that we should be maximizing on. And so that's certainly very exciting. So we're not going to see this as a fad, and that we're not going to be talking about this again next year. AI is well and truly on the map. and turning heads, right?
I think so, and it absolutely should be, but only if it's used in the right way. You know, like AI is a very broad term. There's so many different ways you can use AI, and you need to really figure out what's the right way to use it for your business. And if you have a high volume of inquiry volumes coming from the portals, which if you're a good estate agent, I'm sure you do, then the tool that we're offering and the way that we're using AI is highly relevant. There are plenty of other ways you can use AI as well that I'm sure might also be relevant for your business, but make sure you understand what it's going to do and how it's going to benefit your business before you make any kind of buying decision. But yes, certainly don't shy away from using AI. It's you'll fall behind if you don't.
Gents, thank you so much for your time. Fascinating discussion. Looking forward to seeing you both on December the 11th.
Likewise.
And for anybody watching this, take advantage of this. We've tested it ourselves. It's fantastic technology. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
David.
David.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Have a good one, everybody.